except you're guaranteed to be on the first page because, first of all, not a lot of people integrated Google Base. I already went over this a little bit ago, that not everyone has the technology like Shopping Cart Lead where they can go and list 800,000 products with one click of a button and have it automatically maintained and relisted automatically every month with no errors and no maintenance. And the beauty about AdWords is it integrates your Google Base account with your AdWords, and they do all the matching for you. It's just as easy as Shopping Cart Lead turning on Google Base. AdWords is just as easy integrating Google Base because you click on a button to say integrate my Google Base, and whatever it finds relevant between Google Base and your AdWords, it will automatically display a picture there and promote the listing from Google Base. So you can see it here that I type in racing seats and I get these 3 random results, Amazon and whatever, on Google Base shopping. But then you got these 3 guys that are paying for their clicks, and they're almost guaranteed the exposure for this keyword, and most likely they're going to get the clicks because who looks more relevant? If I'm looking for a yellow racing seat, for example, this guy has a yellow racing seat in the picture. It stands out versus someone who doesn't have a picture at all. It's definitely worth it, especially if you have Google Base on already and you're making money from products on Google Base. Maybe you want to see which product sells all the time using Google Base, and then you want to integrate an AdWord campaign for those products and then integrate your Google Base into your AdWords. Let me just set up a quick campaign for webinar. And by the way, my next webinar coming up, optimizing your homepage and categories, you must come to it. We found some really amazing breakthroughs about structuring your homepage to increase sales, and we had really good results with our sites, and we're going to show you how to do it right. So definitely make sure you make it, or if you don't make it, make sure you watch the video. Type in webinar. Here's the site. So my hottest seller is the secret weapon air intake, and I want to promote this using AdSense. So I already made my tracking codes. Now I'm ready to make my ad. So we're going to start right from the very, very beginning, just like you would when you just log in. Okay? So I'm going to click on my campaign. We want to create a new one. So there's a new campaign button. You might have a big one here if you have none. So we want to say new campaign. And we want to promote webinar secret intakes. And notice that I don't want to promote the whole website. I can really care less about every product on this website. I only want to promote what I really sell a lot of, what I really get a lot of searches on, and what I make the most money on, because I'm spending money on AdWords, and I want to get the biggest return I can without spending a lot of time. It's not going to be worth it for me to optimize, AdWords for like a hose that I make $1 on when I can do an intake and make $50, for example. So I want to only promote secret weapon intakes. I want to promote it US and Canada, so you can say, how deep down you want to promote it. Do not do all countries unless it's relevant to you. So stick to US and Canada, or just US, in fact. For ad networks, I don't want to do content network because I really don't care about other websites promoting my product. I'm most likely going to get the best results from the search. I may be wrong because I'm only promoting one intake, which theoretically that means that I might get, someone selling webinar might have ads next to their product and my ad might come up. But again, remember what I said. Keep your content network separate, completely separate from your Google search. These are 2 separate different advertising platforms. I really, the only reason I see why Google combined those 2 for you, because they want to make more money on it, because they make much more money on content network than Google search. And that's why they have it here together. It really has to be separate. I don't care what anybody says. It has to be separate. Okay, what devices do I want to get displayed on? So my website, different people, they have different businesses. They promote different things. my specific website is probably not going to be a website that somebody goes to on their mobile phone and buys something from it. So I'm going to disable the iPhone and other mobile devices. You know, what's pretty funny is that they mention iPhone here instead of their own Android system, even though they're heavily competing. All right, the next thing is, what is your budget for the day? So if you have a $100 coupon, you might want to use it up within a week or maybe a month. I usually put my budgets as like $20. Then you can manually bid for clicks, or you can do advanced. Advanced is automatic bidding. Honestly, I don't know why they have it. I mean, the only way automatic works is if you have a lot of niche, very tiny niche keywords. You have no idea how much people are bidding on them, and the automatic, what it does is it basically starts off with like 5 cents or 10 cents and goes up every day a little by little, and depending, it sees how far you're in the results. I think it's pointless, so I just stick with manual. One thing that is something to consider is once you see the conversions coming in, you might want to switch to focus on conversion optimizer, which is this thing right here. You can't click on it because it says you don't have enough conversion data. What the conversion optimizer does is it actually makes the decisions for you based on how much money the conversions are bringing you and how much the click is going to cost and how relevant that click is. So basically what it does is something that you can't do manually. It does it automatically using an algorithm, and it displays your ad to the right person, in other words, to make it simple. And I personally never tried this because this is also a new feature, but I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about it. A lot of people saying that it works very, very nice. If you have enough conversions coming in and you have the opportunity to try it, definitely try it and see if that's going to give you more sales. So we have left with Google locations. We don't care about this. Here's the Google base that I was telling you about. See, products, use product images and information from my Google Merchant Center. If you press edit, you can say connect to my Merchant Center, and it tells you which account is already connected to you, which is why it's kind of important to use a single AdWords email for one website this way, and make sure that your Google base is on that same account. And down the line, we're going to be integrating Google Checkout. You want to have that on the same account as well. So just try to have one Gmail account for each website that you have. Okay, demographics. We don't care about it because we're not in the content network. So that's it. This is the settings for your campaign. Now you're ready to make the ad itself. So the ad group is going to be about secret weapon air intakes. And there's ebooks and there's all kinds of stuff about how to write your ad properly. And I even sat through some like 2-hour webinars of people like going so deep into how to write an ad properly. It's pretty interesting. And I'm sure, if I really put my mind to it, I can probably get a few more sales because my ad is better than the other ads. But watch the videos from Google. They tell you the little tricks that they recommend. Here's an ad preview. They basically tell you make a really nice headline for your subcategory or description line 1. Talk about some special deal or something that's going to be relevant to your customers, and then talk about a special deal here. So let me follow their advice, okay? I'm going to say, you got to imagine that you are the shopper looking for a secret weapon intake on Google. What would you type in on Google before buying the intake? So I had good luck with like the word buy. So buy secret weapon intake. For description, lowest prices guaranteed. If you have a phone number, you might want to put that in. It's always good. Coupon codes, next day shipping, or let's do next day free shipping. It's not going to be overnight shipping. It's going to ship next day after they order, and it's going to be free shipping. So lowest prices guaranteed, next day shipping. Again, this is not. I'm not teaching you on how to write the ad properly. That's a whole subject of its own. Like I said, I probably spent 6 or 7 hours of my life listening to other people talk about it, and it is a pretty big subject. It's pretty relevant if you're going to really get serious into it. I'm not going to go into how to write an ad properly in here. Display URL is also just more keywords and how to target. So I guess we can just we'll put secret weapon intake weapon. Oh, I can't even put it in here. Whatever. I'll just use the same one. Now, remember what I told you about being very specific on the part numbers? So if you believe that all your part numbers are perfect, you might want to make one ad group for all secret weapon intakes. So you can say all secret weapon intakes, and we're just going to link everyone to all of our intakes on this page and try to choose relevant keywords for it. If you click on select keywords, it's going to give you some samples of what you can choose from. So it's loading some stuff. You want to be very, very specific about choosing stuff for weapon R and not the general keywords. We don't want to do air intake. It's too general. Yes, we want to do weapon R. We don't want to do any of these. We want to do weapon R, but again, we don't want to do the dragon because we're promoting secret weapon. And weapon R is not a very, it's not a huge niche where people search all the time for it, so it's very small actually. And as you can see for yourself, there's not a lot of keywords that we can rank for that Google recommends. We can put our own keywords that if we think that they're good, but I'm looking strictly for weapon R stuff. I don't want to see any cold air intakes or anything like that. That traffic will probably result in no sales. I want people who are looking specifically for what I'm selling. I wish they can just break it down by find me all weapon R and not okay, here weapon R secret. These are all KNN. Okay, so this is what Google recommends, and I'm going to put what they recommend for my ad. Later on, I can make another ad group called more. You don't want to put a lot of keywords. So one of the things that Google does when they evaluate your click-through ratio, yes, they do it for each keyword, but they also account for your whole ad group, which means if one of your keywords does very well, but 4 of your keywords do very poorly, your overall ad group relevancy score is going to fall, and you're not going to get that higher ranking that I was talking about earlier. So try to keep 5 keywords at most. If you want to add another 5 for all secret weapon intakes, then do another ad group and put another 5. Keep it very, very small. The most I think anyone recommended was 15 to 20 keywords. I like to stick to, unless those 15 and 20 are super relevant to each other, I'll do those, but I want to stick to very niche words. Also keep in mind these match types that you can set. The AdWord classes tells you about the benefits of putting negative keywords. Negative keywords means keyword that doesn't match this term. Where would you use this? It's actually very important. I don't want my keywords showing up when people search for weapon, for example. So I'm going to put a minus weapon. Why? Because someone who searches for weapon, see, broad match means that some of the words match. Match exact phrase is if the exact phrase is matched. Match exact term, basically match exact phrase is if you have certain phrases. So if you have this thing, let me give you a better idea. If you have buy and then weapon R air intake, you can say that I want to match this phrase together whenever somebody searches for anything, and buy and air intake could be separate. Exact phrase is if you want to match the exact phrase that's here. So I can say I want to match this exact phrase in Google. And the minus key means you don't want to show your ad for this keyword if it's searched for. So instead of going and match exact term weapon R, I just said anything that's searched for weapon, don't trigger my ad. And there might be other things, don't trigger my ad for the term secret. Don't trigger my ad for the letter R. So whatever because keep in mind that the more impressions you have, you don't want more impressions. What you want is you want more clicks. That's what you want. If you get more impressions, your click-through ratio goes down, your score goes down. So your goal is to get more clicks. So whenever you decide on which keyword you want to choose for, and when you decide, exact phrase or manage the term only or get rid of negative keywords, keep in mind that you're looking for more clicks, not more exposure with impressions. More impressions is bad. More clicks is good. Okay, we're almost done here. We're finishing up this one group here. So your influence, okay, so default bid. So what do we want to bid for these keywords? Like what is it going to be our initial bid? Personally, I like to start with 50 cents because usually I end up like in position 2, 3, 4. And 2, 3, 4 is not bad. Like a lot of people say, well, position 1 is the best. Yes, but also people who shop for products might click on 1 and then go to position 2 and 3 and so on to shop around. So in fact, you might get less clicks on position 2 to 5, but the clicks that you do get are much more relevant than the click on position 1. So if you have extra money, go for position 1. But if you want to be economical about it and get higher quality traffic that actually might buy something, then go for lower position. So the goal here is to keep between position 1 and 3, maybe 4. You don't want to go lower than that. So 1 to 3 is a safe number. You can see approximately where you are once you're bidding on it. So I'll just start with 60 cents to be safe. So save ad group. That's it. You're done. Here you go. Your campaign is ready. All secret weapon air intakes is your ad group. Here's your keywords. You always start with a good quality score. It usually goes down if you didn't do it right, and that's your trigger if you did it right or not. The ad is not shown yet because it's pending review by Adwords, so it's going to take a few minutes, sometimes an hour, for them to approve your ads. If you're on Shopping Cart Elite, your ads will be approved if they're not violating, the trademarks or anything like that. Google requires you to have a privacy policy and terms and conditions and a professional website and a shopping cart and so on, and you have all of that with Shopping Cart Elite, so you don't have to worry about that not being approved. So your ads will be approved, and from there on, you can see, where you're ranking and keep monitoring your ads. Like if you might want to put more ads. Usually, I like to play with 2 ads and see which one is better. Whichever one is better after a few weeks, I delete the one that's bad and put another one. So I keep trying to make my ad better. The best way to do the ads is see what other people are doing who are your competitors. Well, I don't really have a lot of them for air intakes, for webinar. In fact, I don't have anyone competing with me. But those that might be competing with you, if they're number 1, number 2, number 3 position, most likely they've been there for a while, and most likely they got a pretty good ad down. So you might want to start with their ad. Yeah, it's okay, to copy. It's not, rocket science to come up with 3 words. You can take their ad, see how it does for you, and then optimize it and make it better after you see what it does so far. There's a lot more stuff to this, and I'm not going to go over it because the Google AdWords classes go over it. So I basically went over whatever I thought was important for you to know that the AdWords does not cover. I'll tell you one more thing, that one of the Shopping Cart Elite, the reason why we even did this whole AdWords webinar, because one of the Shopping Cart Elite clients is using AdWords for his website, selling auto parts, and he does about $34,000 in sales using AdWords, spending about $3,000 to $4,000 in AdWords itself, which pays it off very well for him. And he started off by investing, I believe, like $500, and he kind of moved up from there. He wasn't doing the conversions, so he's like extremely excited about these conversions that we implemented. But it's been working for him. It's been putting a lot of money in his pocket. And considering that you can try this out for very cheap or free if you have the coupon already. If you don't, like I said, it's like $4 to $15 for $100 to start with, and if you do it right, that $100 is going to monetize for you. This webinar spends about, because I have this webinar on my other account, the webinar spends about $100 a month in clicks, and I believe it does about maybe 2 or $2,500 in sales. It does $2,500 in sales for a $100 coupon that I got. And if I put $100, I get $2,500 in gross sales minus whatever my margin is, 20-30%. I end up making money at the end. So if you get the $100 coupon from eBay, or if you have one, and do it right for the products you definitely know you have a good price on, and you do it right on Google AdWords itself, you can monetize your $100 coupon for like $3,000-$4,000 in gross sales, which will put $500 to $1,000 in your pocket, and then you can decide if you want to continue with AdWords and do more campaigns or more sites. So this is, I know a lot of people say this is the easiest way to get traffic because you pay for it. As you can see, it's not that easy to set up, but once you set it up and you're done with it, then it's easy because you're kind of just monetizing on without doing much on it. So this is the end of the webinar. If anyone has any questions, put them in the chat and I will answer them for you. Again, to watch all these Google tutorials, you go to Shopping Cart Elite, Help Tutorials, by topic, advertise with Google AdWords. Here's all your recommended ones. Here's the optional one. And the webinar we had today will be posted online within a week. The knowledge base link, which is located right here. If you click knowledge base from the homepage, all the webinars are being put here in the archive. So if you want to watch it again later. Okay, I don't see any questions. So if anyone will have a question, you can email me directly. Sure, you have my email. If not, it's igor@shoppingcartelite.com, and I'll be happy to help you answer that question. Thanks for coming, everyone.